A very good morning and warm welcome 10th standard for your digital learning, science and technology part B lecture. We have already started with lesson number 6, animal classification, and we are in the last part of the lesson. So we shall end the lesson today and let's see what we have got to study in the last part of the lesson. Phylum Chordata. Till now we were on phylum Non-Chordata and the 10 different subphylums of that particular non-chordates. Here, the very basic and common characteristics you would find is they have a supporting notochord. Okay, all the animals would be having this. Then all the chordates on this planet are included in this phylum. It's very huge. And further, in the phylum Chordata, you have 3 subphylums: Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. Okay, as we move on to each of the subphylum, we'll be seeing why they are being named specifically this. The peculiar characteristics or important ones that you need to remember: notochord and pharyngeal gill slits are always present until at least some of the developmental stage. You will find that there is notochord and there are pharyngeal gill slits, right? In the non-chordates, you did not find notochord in every class or pharyngeal gill slits, right? Then, presence of single tubular spinal cord, which is on the dorsal side of the body. Dorsal and ventral I explained you previously. Now, if you look at ourselves also, our body also, the spinal cord is present on the dorsal side. Yes, we all know where is the spinal cord present. So simple, it is your dorsal side. And then what would be the ventral side? Where is your heart? It is on the ventral side. So now we are clear what is dorsal side and ventral side. We are the live examples to understand this, right? So these are the specific important characters you will find in every chordate animal, right? So let's move on. These are the various organisms included in the phylum Chordata. Okay. The first subphylum of phylum Chordata is Urochordata. Uro means the tail portion. Okay, so hence it is Urochordata. Now these are all marine animals. You will find them in the waters. The body is covered by something called as test or tunic. You can see on the screen. Okay, just like our body is covered with skin and then you have hair, right? Some animals have fur, some have feathers. Similar way, here what they have is called as test or tunic. In the larval stage, these animals are free swimming. Okay, the larvae of these animals would be free swimming, and the notochord in this Urochordata is present only in the tail region of larvae, and hence they are called as Urochordata. I hope now you are clear why they are being named such, because the notochord is present only in the tail region and Uro means the tail portion. Hence they are being termed as Urochordata, right? Then the larvae gradually metamorphosize into adults. Okay, now how do they grow into adults? By settling at the bottom of the sea, by settling at the bottom of the ocean bed. Okay, and basically metamorphosis is what? It changes its form, its structure. When they are larvae, they are totally different. When they metamorphose or when they change into adults, it is different. Their habits change, their habitats change. But when this metamorphosis takes place, when they go and settle down at the bottom, okay, you do not find them in the surface waters. and they are hermaphrodites. Okay, hermaphrodites we have studied. Both the sexes sometimes are present in the same single body of the organism. The next subphylum of phylum Chordata is Cephalochordata. Now here you will have to understand why they are being named so, right? Cephalochordata. Now chordata means we all know they belong to the chordates. Cephalon means, it's in Greek, it means head. Okay, so why they are named so? Because here the notochord is present throughout. Okay, the notochord is present throughout the body length. If you go to see the pink color, yes, from the tip of the body of the animal till the tail region, you can see there is presence of notochord. This extends from the tip to the anterior end of the body. So hence they are named as Cephalochordata. The notochord, which is in the part of the brain that extends from there to the anterior part of the body, right? Hence they are being termed as Cephalochordata. Cephalon is a word which in Greek means head. Now these are small fish-like structures, as you can see, marine. Yes, from the posterior and the anterior ends, their body is tapering a bit. Yes, appear to be like fish. They are very, very, very tiny, microscopic. You'll find them in waters. They have large pharynx along with gill slits. That also you can observe on the picture. And they are unisexual. Okay, now unisexual in hermaphrodites, the difference is very much clear to you all. From this phylum, you will always find the organisms are unisexual. As you go a step higher in a phylum or the class that we are going to study ahead, you are just going to see more and more evolution and development. Okay, so it's very interesting. Keep paying attention. Let's move to the next subphylum. Next subphylum we have Vertebrata, or it's also called as Craniata. There is something in our head called as cranium. This cranium protects our brain. Okay, it is also called as brain case. If you see the second feature of the subphylum Vertebrata, the well developed head. So all the organisms included in the subphylum Vertebrata are having well developed head. They are pretty developed and evolved. From here you are going to study about the higher animals. Okay, beyond this you don't have any further highly developed organisms. Here also further you have 6 different classes, and you will see how gradually evolution has taken place. Okay, so first let us look at the general features of the Vertebrata subphylum. Notochord here is replaced by vertebral column. Now vertebral column is something which protects your spinal cord. Okay, if you touch the spinal cord behind, you can feel the vertebral column which is protecting your spinal cord, and this vertebral column is divided into 33 bones. Okay, you can feel the gaps in between. Clear? Hence this subphylum is termed as Vertebrata, and the organisms included in this subphylum are also called as vertebrates. You and I are vertebrates. Okay, brain protected by cranium. The endoskeleton, okay, endo means inside, either it is bony or cartilaginous. Bony means either it is made up of bones or else it will be made up of cartilage. Jawless or with jaws. Some of them are without jaws, and those that do not have jaws are called as agnatha. A, that is absence. And if there is presence of jaw, just like we have, they are called as gnathostomata. G is silent. Clear? And the 6 classes included further in subphylum Vertebrata, or you can say the division of Vertebrata takes place. A. Cyclostomata, B. Pisces, C. Amphibia, third Reptilia, E. Aves, and F. Mammalia. Okay, so here are the further 6 classes which come under the subphylum Vertebrata. We would be looking on one by one, and I'm sure this is very easy to understand because here all the classes we are aware of and the organisms included in these classes are very well known to us. Okay, so let us proceed. The first class is Cyclostomata. Cyclo means somewhat circular. So here the mouth of these organisms are circular. If you look at the picture on your screen of myxine or petromyzon, you can see the mouth is somewhat circular shaped, and they are provided with suckers. Okay, in this square shaped picture, I have given you a specific mouth picture only, which is circular. Okay, and they have something like suckers which will help them to take in the food. Okay, they do not have jaw. Their mouth will not have jaw. They can also be called as agnatha. Okay, just by looking at the picture on your screen, you will get to know that the skin is very soft. No paired appendages. Appendages means no limbs, no hands, no legs, nothing, which is very clear. The endoskeleton is cartilaginous, and they are ectoparasites. You will find them outside in the environment of the body of host. Clear? So this is your first first class in the subphylum Vertebrata, that is Cyclostomata. Next class we have is Pisces. Now looking at the animal on your screen, you easily get an idea what are included in this class Pisces. Yes, all your fishes. Now, these fishes, firstly, they are purely aquatic. We all are aware of that. Either you will find them in marine waters or in the fresh waters. Yes, their body is spindle shaped. Now, what is spindle shape? The posterior and the anterior region are tapering, whereas the center of the body is broad as compared to the anterior and the posterior part. Yes or no? So that is called as spindle shaped body. Now this type of body structure will help the fishes to cut through the water currents while swimming. Okay, it will help them to minimize the water resistance, and it will help them to move ahead, cutting through the water and making way for themselves. They have some paired and some unpaired fins. Okay, paired, sometimes 2 pectoral fin, 2 pelvic fin, sometimes unpaired, single pelvic, single pectoral, single lateral fin, single dorsal fin, single ventral fin, and the fin at the tail part is called as caudal fin. Now these fins help them swim. Just like when we swim in the water with the help of hands and legs, we keep moving ahead. Similar way here, the fins of the fishes help them to swim. The tail fin is termed as or is named as steering organ. Now we all know the function of steering wheel in our automobiles. Similar way here, the tail fin functions as the steering organ. The exoskeleton, okay, the outer skeleton of the fishes is scaly. Sometimes it is soft, sometimes it is scaly. Now many of you might be having fishes at home, okay, in your lunch or dinner. That time you might have observed, or next time you can observe how is the exoskeleton, the outer skeleton of the fish that you have got from the market. Sometimes it is soft, sometimes it is rough, sometimes it is scaly. The endoskeleton, it can be bony, it can be cartilaginous. It can be made up of cartilage and or sometimes it can be bones also. Here the respiration of the fishes is always with the gills. Yes or no? This we all have studied since lower grades. Now there's a huge list of examples of this class. Few are given on your screen. Stingray, rohu, pomfret, mrigel, seahorse, electric ray, etc. I hope you all are aware that dolphins and whales, in spite of they being aquatic, having a body structure like that of fishes, but they are not included in the class Pisces, right? Everywhere, in every case, you will have some or the other exceptional. Why they are under the class Mammalia, that will be seen later on. Okay, but remember this, a shark is a fish, but whale and dolphins are not considered to be as of the class Pisces. Next class we have is amphibians. Now amphibian student, you will have to understand that these evolved from Pisces. So these amphibians can swim in water. I mean, they can live in water as well in on land. Now we are aware of the frogs. We have seen them surviving in water. We have seen them surviving on land as well. Yes or no? Yes. Now one characteristic I forgot to tell you while teaching you Pisces is they are cold-blooded, or also called as poikilotherms. Even the amphibians are poikilotherms. Now what are these poikilotherms or cold-blooded? This means that their internal body temperature is not constant. They do not have the ability to maintain the internal body temperature constant just like us. Okay, their body temperature keeps on fluctuating and hence they cannot survive all the seasons, right? So you might have observed that during the rainy seasons you will see more of frogs and snakes on the land, whereas otherwise these frogs, snakes, they go underground during extreme summers, right? Because they do not have that ability to resist these temperature changes. Now coming to amphibians, during the larval stage, okay, they are strictly aquatic, and since they live in water, they respire in the water only, okay. But when they mature into adult ones, they have this specific characteristic of living in water as well as on land. So when they are in water, they will respire through the waters, that is also called as aquatic respiration. When they are on land, they will have aerial respiration. This means in the water they will be inhaling the dissolved oxygen, whereas on land they will inhale the oxygen just like us. Okay, so this is how their respiration goes on in the water, aquatic, and on the land, aerial. Now, two pairs of appendages. Now, if you observed in the Pisces, the fishes did not show any presence of appendages, but here they have evolved. Okay, on the land they tried to move around, so gradually there were pairs of appendages observed. They are digits. Now digits here are basically fingers of the human. Okay, now these digits of the amphibians are without any claws or nails. Okay, they do not have any exoskeleton. Their skin is very moist. The frog's skin is very moist for easy respiration, whereas the skin of the toads, the first picture brown color that you can see, is very rough and dry. Presence of tympanum, the tympanic membrane that you can see on the frog on the screen, is basically the eardrum. In the humans we have eardrum inside and we have an external ear, right? These amphibians do not show presence of external ear. they directly have tympanic membrane. Okay, they do not show presence of neck as well. External ear, as I told you. Prominent eyes with eyelids. Okay, this eyelids will help them in the water and prevent their eyes from the water entering into them. Okay, the picture in the center that looks like a lizard to you is salamander. Okay, it is also one of the amphibia. Clear? Let's move to the next class. The next class is reptilia. Now these are termed as the first true terrestrial animals. Okay, from the water, the first organisms that tried to live on the land. Okay, gradually evolution took place, development took place. They were your reptiles. They could be observed performing creeping movement. Okay, these are also poikilotherms, that is cold-blooded animals. Okay, the skin is dry and scaly. You might have observed a lizard, tortoise, crocodiles. Yes or no? Their skin is very dry and it is in the form of scales. Neck, yes, it is present between the head and the trunk. Again, just like the amphibians, there is no external ear. They also show presence of digits, but here you will be able to observe claws. Okay, snakes and alligators are few more examples of reptiles. Now, as I told you about the evolution, when you study, you might have observed that there are similarities. Okay, as you move higher. Yes or no? The amphibians also showed absence of external ear. The reptiles also show absence of external ear. Yes, amphibians did not show presence of neck, but reptilia did show presence of neck. Yes or no? Some changes have taken place, some developments have taken place, some features are the same. Yes, so can we say the evolution has been taking place? Yes. Now it is said that snakes also had appendages. Okay, but it used to be very troublesome for them to creep on the land, and gradually, after generations and generations of snakes, appendages were lost from the new generations. So this is how evolution takes place. When you will be studying about evolution in lesson number 1, you will see how giraffe have evolved to be so tall. Okay, their neck. So this is how changes have been taking place. Struggle for surviving in the nature has brought about changes. Next we move to class Aves. Now we all are aware Aves means all are birds, okay, that can fly. So aerial life, they are always will find them in the air. Now from here the organisms become warm-blooded. They struggled hard, they brought about changes in them, and the new generations were found to be warm-blooded, means homeotherms. They are able to maintain constant body temperature, just like you and me. Yes or no? Does the external temperature affect us so much? No. Why? Because the internal body temperature of ours is constant. We have that ability. Here, the body is spindle shaped. If you remember, we have studied somewhere else also about the spindle shaped body. Yes, in the fishes. Now, just like in the water, similar way in the air also, during the flight, the birds will be able to fly easily, cut through the air and move forward because of this spindle shaped body. Okay, the posterior and the anterior part are tapering, if you observe. Okay, so this way you can remember one thing. Here the forelimbs are modified into wings. They do not have two hands, okay, or two limbs in the anterior part. Okay, they are codified into the wings. Now with the time, when the few of the reptiles might have tried to fly. So gradually with time, the next generation of organisms or years later, the new generation might have these limbs modified into wings. The digits here are covered with scales and they have claws. That you might have closely observed the claws of the birds. Exoskeleton, yes, as wings. Neck is present between head and the trunk, and the jaws are modified into the beak for easy method of eating, for comfortably eating whatever their prey is. Few examples are vulture, pigeon, crow, penguin, and many more birds you can add into it. The last and the final class, the highly developed one, Mammalia. The very distinct feature of class Mammalia is presence of mammary glands, milk producing glands. That is why your bat, your elephant, your kangaroo, your whale, dolphin are all included in the class Mammalia, because very first one, they directly give birth to a young one, and second feature is presence of mammary glands. Okay, bat can fly, but it is not included in class Aves, but in class Mammalia because of the presence of mammary glands. Warm blooded, yes. Body is divided into head, neck, trunk, tail. Now, as evolution went on taking place, when humans developed, humans did not show presence of tail, but we do have tail bone. Digits, that is your fingers, either they have nails or claws if it's a bat, if it's kangaroo, or hooves. Okay, this you will be able to find in the horses. Exoskeleton, the skin is covered by hair like humans or fur. Examples: human, dolphin, whale, and many more such. Okay, so I think the chapter has been very interesting. With this, we complete with the lesson number 6, animal classification. I would once again advise you all to study the animals whenever you're studying the characteristics. Okay, without characteristics or without the animals, you will not be able to understand and write during your exams. So whenever each phylum or each class you are studying, you will have to have animals in front of that particular phylum or the class. Then you can study. You can also prepare charts or diagrammatic representations or flow charts for better understanding. Okay, if any doubts, feel free to ask. Keep revising, study well, take care, bye.